What are the 5 things I wish I knew before getting into this bourbon journey? Let's find out. What's going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, bringing you guys a brand new video. Today, we're going to go over the 5 things that I wish I knew before getting into my bourbon journey. Before we get into the video, though, I just want to thank you guys so much for the love and support for the channel. Channel is blowing up like crazy, and that is all solely because of you guys. So make sure you guys check out the other things that I offer for you. We have a Patreon page where we have an awesome community growing, so make sure you guys check that out down below. We're giving away samples, absolutely fun stuff, and I can't thank you guys enough for joining up over there. Also, if you want your everyday drinker apparel and merchandise, check out the store below to pick up your everyday drinker swag. Enough of the boring, soppy stuff. Let's get into the fun stuff and why you're here for the video. And the first thing that I wish I knew getting into this bourbon journey was how important Facebook groups were. Now, I am in a couple of Facebook groups. I'm in the Central Jersey Bourbon Society, I'm in the South Jersey Bourbon Drinkers, and then I'm also in 2 buy-sell trade Facebook groups. Now, the 2 important ones are the Central Jersey Bourbon Society and the South Jersey Bourbon Drinkers. Those groups are super important. They're the groups that consist of the guys that share collections. Those are the guys that you build relationships with personally and see what they recommend. You're going to build a very nice relationship with a bunch of those guys in there. You're going to share your collection. You're going to ask a whole bunch of questions in there regarding the bourbons that you're looking for, the ones that you have, the ones that you're interested in, the ones that they have. They're the ones that are going to be able to inform you. They're the guys that are super nice. You're going to do bottle shares eventually. These are the groups that do group picks with single barrels and stuff so that you can pick up a bottle that nobody else will have in the area or in the country for that matter, and just in your specific area. These are the ones that are absolutely fantastic. Now, going into those buy-sell trade groups, right? You have a bunch of those guys that are from those other groups in these groups as well, where they're posting bottles that they're trying to sell. Say you're looking for a bottle of Weller Antique 107. Somebody posts it on there. You can either offer the money that they're asking, or you might be able to trade a couple of bottles and whatnot and be able to pick up those bottles that you're looking for easily through other people rather than having to spend secondary prices at stores. And going off of stores, it is super important. This is number 2. We are going to be entering into making relationships at your local stores. So I recommend picking out 2 or 3 stores in your area that don't price gouge on these bottles of bourbons and making relationships, buying your bottles at these stores. Every time you go into a store, you don't have to buy something. That is the most important thing that a lot of people say, is you have to buy something. You don't have to buy something every time you go into these stores. What you do have to do, though, is spark up a conversation with somebody at that store, whether it be the manager or the cashier. Make sure you're letting those people know what exactly you're looking for. They're going to ask you what you're looking for. Make sure you let them know. You spend some money in these stores, not every time. Eventually, that relationship at that store will become your best friend. You'll walk in one day, you'll pick up a bottle of whatever you want, you'll end up at the cash register, and they'll tell you, hold on 1 second. They'll walk to the back, and that bottle that you've been waiting for has become available for you. They brought it out, and that relationship with that store has become fruitful, and it is your best friend to have that relationship with those stores and to be able to have that opportunity to spark those conversations with those people and be friends and acquaintances and have that relationship. Number 3 is the proof isn't always everything. Now, what do I mean by that? Higher proof bourbon isn't always the best. I made a video about this a couple weeks ago, whereas as a beginner bourbon drinker, you need to start out at low proof. Now, that's just my opinion. You don't have to. It's my opinion that I recommend you start out at a low proof. 90 proof is the perfect starting point for a beginner bourbon drinker, in my opinion. You drink that bottle to its fullest, and then you work your way up into that barrel proof bottle that you've so wanted so badly. But also, barrel proof bourbons aren't always the best bourbons. You know, I mean, you have so many fantastic low proof bourbons that I always recommend, right? You have Evan Williams 1783. You have Widow Jane Decadence 90 proofer. You have Wild Turkey 101, fantastic mixer. Old Forester 100 proof, fantastic mixer. Eagle Rare 10 year, fantastic bottle of bourbon. All of these bourbons that I recommended are not barrel strength. Now, a bunch of these bottles that are barrel strength are absolutely fantastic, right? They're going to be really, really good if they did them right, such as Wild Turkey Rare Breed. You're going to have your Maker's Mark, fantastic bottles. You have your Larcenies that are absolutely fantastic, and your Elijah Craigs that are absolutely fantastic, followed by your barrel bourbons. There's so many that are do it right, but there are also so many that do it wrong. So make sure that you do your research, you join those Facebook groups to find out which bottles actually do it right. And that's why I say proof isn't always everything. You start out low proof because those low proofs are also fantastic bottles that you will enjoy so much. Getting into number four. Number four is age isn't everything. And I mean, me specifically, and I know a lot of other guys, when you're talking about an age-stated bourbon, there's a sweet spot in my opinion, which is that 6 to 12 year range. You have a nice 6-year window to have a very, very sweet, beautiful, oak forward in a way, but not too oaky. You'll have floral notes coming out of these bottles. You'll have chocolate notes. You'll have espresso. You'll have leather. And that age range is absolutely fantastic. Once you get to age stated, like in that, I don't want to say 15 year, but older than that 15 year, say you're looking at an Elijah Craig 18 year on the shelf and you're a new bourbon drinker, you buy that because it's low proof, 90 proof, single barrel, 18 year, you know, you're like, oh man, this has to be good. You get home, it is just so oak forward and it turns you away from that bottle. Now, you step your way up into that age stated range as well. You also step your way down in the age stated range as well. But once you find that sweet spot that you enjoy, for me it's that 6 to 12 year range that I absolutely enjoy for my bottles. That doesn't go for everybody, but in my opinion, that 6 to 12 year is the absolute sweet spot for bourbons, and I know a lot of other guys will agree with me on that. And going into number 5, it's where relationships are key in all aspects of this journey for you. And number 5 is bourbon hunting is difficult. It is a difficult game to get into. Finding allocated bottles is difficult. That's why relationships are important. You can go to 30 different states in one different state every month and hunt 30 different stores in each state and not find that bottle that you're looking for. But once that store that you have that relationship with gets that bottle in, you might be that first phone call that they make to you for you to come pick that bottle up. And that's why relationships are key in this bourbon game. I'll let you know again, relationships are key in this bourbon game because bourbon hunting is difficult. Let me know down below if I missed anything that you think is super important for a beginner bourbon journey. Somebody who is starting out and wants to get into this journey and they're looking for key tips in their journey. These are my top 5. Let me know down in the comments what you would add to my list. Until next time, this has been Nathan with The Everyday Drinker. Cheers.